Jennifer from Unveiled Wife, and today we have Peggy here with us, and she is just willing to be open and honest with us about her experience with Wife After God. So, hi Peggy, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, doing awesome. Do you want to share with the community a little bit about who you are?
Sure. I'm Peggy. I've been married to my husband Will for 24 and a half years now. This December will be 25 years. It was a whirlwind courtship. We met in July, got married, got engaged in August, and married in December. We have two kids. Our oldest is 21, and our youngest, that's our daughter, and our son is 15 and a half.
Great.
And we
Well,
live in the city of Oxnard.
okay, that's kind of close to me. Same state, California.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just really looking forward to jumping into chapter 24 of Wife After God. And it's all about, the parts of marriage. And was there something specific that maybe stood out to you?
I really enjoyed the whole thing, so I didn't have any one specific thing, but it's just great to have a spot where I can get a feel from other Christian women. I just recently joined a church, so I have a lot more Christian friends now. Although I've been a Christian all my life, it's just good now to have that connection with other wives.
Mm, that's awesome. So, why do you think that it's important to view your husband and you and your relationship with each other as, one flesh, as God details about marriage in His Word? Because, this chapter is all about, the parts of marriage and becoming one flesh.
Yes. Well, for us, because he was active duty Navy when we got married, it wasn't hard because we're both Christians, but it was hard that he was gone and being the mom and the dad and getting that and him coming back home and coming in and going, oh, well, I think we should do this, this, and this. What do you mean breakfast for dinner? We
Yeah.
were like, no, we like breakfast for dinner. What do you mean no? And it's so much better because I have a lot of friends, even siblings, my brothers and my sister, I'm the oldest of four, and all of my siblings lived with their now ex-spouses before they were married. And we didn't do that, and we waited. And it was so important to us that we didn't play house, that we did everything according to God's will for us. And it makes to me, our marriage is so much stronger. Like I said, we didn't date for a long time. And in between us getting engaged and getting married, he was gone out to sea for 4 months. So
Wow.
it wasn't like we had a whole lot of bonding time, and we bonded where we get in when we fit in apparently, but it's worked. 24 and a half years. So it's
Great.
super important that you have that you're able to depend on him. Like there's times that I've completely crumbled, that he's held me up, and there's times that he's just like, oh, I can't do this, that I've been like, come on babe, you got it, come
Mm.
on, we can do this. Or there's times like we when I was pregnant with our son, they said, oh, he needs a kidney transplant. And of course, he was out to sea when they dropped that bomb on me. And he came home and he went, so how was your appointment? And I was just like, I'm taking kidneys. And he was like, girl, where's your faith? We're just going to pray.
Aw.
It's okay. I was like, whoa, convicted. Thanks.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
it was super important for us.
I think that's so, important to have that perspective where you really do support each other and you step in times of weaknesses, or that scripture, that the focus verse that goes along with this chapter talks about how, if a part of the body is hurt, you need to recognize that it's hurt and be there for it and support it and lift it up. So I love that in relation to marriage, and how when we're weak or when we're falling, our spouse can step in and help us, or vice versa. It's so needed and so necessary. Um,
Yes.
do you have any, specific ways of how you respond to your husband when he's in, times of weakness or struggling with something?
Yeah. Not last year, the year before was such a struggle for us. Um, it was just hard. Like the IRS came in and just totally slammed us there with the savings. Then last September, our son's third day of school, fourth day of school, they were T-boned in the car. He was taking him to school, and they were T-boned, of course, where my son was sitting. So him being the dad threw his arm up to save our son and wrenched his back, and then, he lost his job. And I just remember, God, like, how much more can we take? I am so done with this. And he was like, no, no, that's not how we are going to approach this. God has us. He's never failed us. He won't forsake us. You need to stop. We're going to pray. And I was just like, wow. And the other time when I held him up was when his mother passed, because he was raised by his mom, a phenomenal woman of God. Just hearing her stories would just always make me cry. How she wanted to go to church and she wasn't allowed. And she would just pray, God, just take me. I just want to be with you. And when she finally went home, it crumbled. I remember telling my sister-in-law, please don't make me tell him. I can't be the one to just destroy his world. And I told him, and I just had to be there. And that year was so hard because his mother died literally 2 days before her birthday. That April, his nephew was killed in a car accident. The February, his cousin passed away, and the October before, his oldest brother died. And I told him when he went in October, he went to his brother's service without me. And I said, you know what, I'll let you do this. If you think that, I have to stay here with the kids, I'll do it. I'm a Navy wife. It's what we do. We stay. But when his mom died, I put my foot down. I said, there's no way that you're going through this alone. I'm here for you. I'm your rib. I'm your best friend. I'm here. I'm your soulmate. You're not going through this without me. And he says, even now, like, I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful that you were there, because I couldn't have done that without you.
I got chills when you said I'm his rib. And if more wives can step up and embrace that and realize that God has called us to help our husbands and to be that rib and to just be adamant about serving them and comforting them and supporting them, I think that marriages would be really, really strong. And I can't believe how much you guys have been through. And it's such a huge testimony to what God can do, through a couple. I mean, you seem so resilient. No matter what comes your way, you just are so reinforced that God is there for you. And again, you give him the glory.
Absolutely. I know that without God, we would have been, I don't even think we would have been married this long. So many military marriages are over so quickly because he's gone. Mm-hmm. And I think part of it for me was my mom was an example because my dad was in the Navy. So I went from a Navy brat to a Navy wife. And everyone goes, oh, it's so much easier because your dad was in the Navy. And I was like, no, you want your dad to go out to sea. You don't want your husband out to sea. And I told him, you're gone for 6 months. I don't sleep for 6 months. Thank God you're home. I can finally sleep. Aww. He was like, what do you mean? And I remember when we were engaged, he would say, if it's nighttime there, kind of do the math. And if it's nighttime where I'm at, we're going to look at the same moon and just look at,
sweet.
We're seeing God's majesty together. And it's like, oh, I can't help but to love him.
So do you have any specific...
And of course, we do have those days where I'm like, oh, you're breathing still? Serious?
Yeah, we all go through those
we're
ups
married.
and downs.
I'm human.
Yeah. So do you have any specific encouragement for wives who are also Navy wives or Army wives or any wives who experience, deployment or separation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Military wives. I think the best thing I did when he was deployed and when he was homeported somewhere else without us was I started a Bible study in our neighborhood. And I got other military wives together and we met in our homes and I would have cakes and cookies. And it eventually evolved into us having our husbands come in and our kids, and we would have a dinner together on Friday night and we would do Bible study together. And it was so encouraging because your kids had a good group of kids that you knew that they're all in the same school together. So you kind of knew, okay, it's PTA night and we're all going together. It's so vitally important that you are always praying for your spouse when they're gone, especially if they're gone and you know that you're getting hazardous duty pay because you know your husband is in peril. Anything can happen. So you always pray that shield of protection around your husband. Always, always, always. You always hold him up. Remember, he is the head of the household for a reason. God made him to be the head of the household. And I know it's hard when they come home and they go, oh, well, we should do this, this, and that. And you've been doing it XYZ way, and he wants to go ABC. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. But you have to give him that respect. And that's just it. I remember thinking when we got married, I was 20, and I literally turned 21 on our honeymoon. And I said to him, I don't know about that whole submitting thing. I mean, I'm not your slave or nothing. I'm not nobody's doormat. Don't get that all confused now, because he's from down south. And my dad was in the Navy. We grew up basically in San Diego. We had 3 tours there. So I was like, look, I'm nobody's doormat, sporty boy. And then when I started reading my word more and understanding, submission is me respecting my husband, not only the way I want him to respect me, but the way I want others to respect him. And until we learn that and you get that down deep in your spirit, it's going to be a hard, hard, rocky road, because the world says, I'm a woman and I don't need a man and da 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 da. But you do. You need that man. And I tell my daughter, even if it's just for him to open your jar of pickles, sweetie pie, you need that man. I'm so blessed that he grew up in a Christian household. His mother raised them. He played in a Christian band. He played in a gospel band. He sang. Now he plays the drums in church for our praise team. Wow. I'm just so blessed and lucky to have him that I couldn't imagine my life without him. That's his cuckoo clock in the background. He's always wanted one.
That's awesome.
And every time that thing goes off, I go, I must really love you.
Yep, you just think of him. That's beautiful. Well, as we wrap up this, this conversation, because I feel like I could talk to you forever. What is one thing that God's really been teaching you lately that you could share with the wives in our community?
For me, lately, I even taught about it back in January for our sisterhood group at church. Just the sovereignty and the awesomeness of God, just who God is to me personally. It's so easy to go, oh, God's God provides for me. Thank you, God. But it's the little things, like he hung the sun in the sky. Mm-hmm. He created the world by just speaking it. And I'm learning, because me and my mouth, I'm a Navy brat, I'm a Navy wife, and I tell them there are days that I can just cuss a blue streak. And my husband has never, ever, I've only heard him cuss twice. And we were in a car accident, and he was in a car accident with my son. That was it. And I'm just so convicted by that I keep having to remind myself, the tongue is such a powerful, powerful thing. If God spoke creation with it, then think of the power that your words have. Words can be spoken, but they can never be taken back. Your words, I tell my kids, you would rather sometimes you would rather they ball up their fist to hit you than say some things to you. So you have to be conscious of your words. Speak loving words. Speak encouraging words, especially to our youth today. I work at a school, and they're so discouraged sometimes. They don't have goals and they don't have dreams. Like, I live in Oxnard, and a lot of us around here, like, the people are picking agriculture. They're picking strawberries and fruits, and a lot of the kids that I work with in the junior high, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to work in the fields. And I'm like, no, you can be anything you want. God has made it so that you have free will, you have a mind. God has blessed you with so much more. Dream big. The world, I don't think God was sitting there and went, what if I put a marble here? The world is so huge. Think big, live your dreams, but in so living your dreams, be sure that you're always praising and worshiping God and thanking him. Always, always be thankful.
Great word. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be here with us and to just encourage us. And I'm going to keep praying for you and your husband, that you guys continue to grow, and that you have many, many more years of just awesome marriage bliss. And thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, bye.